So in my calculator now, I'm going to do the plus part, and I'm going to do the minus part. I'm going to do them separately. So in parentheses on top, I'll have negative 0.428, and I'll do the plus one first. The square root, and remember that opens a parenthesis, so we're going to need to close it, but I'm going to enter my negative 0.428 squared. I'm putting that in parentheses because I want to tell my calculator that it's supposed to square the entire value. It's negative 0.428 times negative 0.428. Minus 4 times negative 0.007, there's my A, times my C, negative 2.5, just like I see it. And now I've got to close the parenthesis for my my square root. That's closing that guy right there. And now I've got to close the numerator off so I can tell it to divide that whole thing by parenthesis 2 times negative 0.007. Now you can hit enter, and it will tell us that x is about 6.54, or x equals, and now second enter, all I have to do is change that plus to a minus, and we will get 54.6. Okay, now you compare this to what we got earlier. We had about 6.7 and 49.8. Now this is only happening, these only vary because of rounding error. So that's all, we rounded so much, whereas in our calculator, our y equals went out to many, many decimal places. So we still got roughly the same answers. You know, this one's a little off, this one's off by about 5, but that's again just because of rounding. Now we could plug each of these in to either one of the equations, and we should be able to come up with the y values, which should be approximately the ones that we came up with on the previous page. They should be pretty close to 3.6 and 3.9 respectively. Of course, we'll have a little bit of rounding error involved in here, and so our answers here will vary a little bit, but they should be about the same. And so that's one way that we can really take different types of equations. If you have a quadratic, and that's the quote-unquote biggest function that you have on one side of an equation, and the other side's linear or smaller, well, or sorry, is quadratic or smaller, you can move all the terms over, make that side equal to 0, and as long as you have the ax squared plus bx plus c thing going on, you can figure out what x value will satisfy that equation, make these two things equal to each other by using the quadratic formula and coming up with our solutions. Or of course, you know, the technological way is to do the intersections. And so that will be it for this series.